We all knew heading into the 2025 season that the New York Jets had a lot of question marks on the offensive side. Yes, it starts with the quarterback in Justin Fields, but the weakest group perhaps on the roster lies at the wide receiver position. We all knew that that was going to be an uphill battle after Garrett Wilson. It was all unknowns. However, analyst Dianna Russini, who we all know and love of The Athletic, reported this morning that the New York Jets, along with the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers, are kind of looking into the trade market prior to week one, which officially kicks off September 5th with the Eagles and the Cowboys. We'll dive into that. But before we do so, welcome to the Turn Up the Jets YouTube channel. As always, your host, Joe Scurto. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Like the video if you've actually liked it. And you can also follow me on social media platforms such as X and on Instagram at Turn Up the Jets, all one word. I made content prior about this wide receiver group. And, after following the 31-12 defeat the Jets had on Saturday against the New York Giants, with many drops for the offense and just a stale day overall, even for the starters. 2 drives, only 3 points on the board. The first drive was very frustrating, and the second one obviously ended in a Nick Folk field goal. The Jets need to see what they can do prior to the season with the wide receivers. It's just not good enough. It's not. After Garrett Wilson, there's question marks after question marks after question marks. Josh Reynolds has never been a wide receiver 2. Heck, he barely played last year following that tragic accident that he had, or incident rather, ahead of the season in the offseason, and then really didn't get anything going with the Denver Broncos. His career high is flirting around 600 yards. Allen Lazard has been the biggest bust in terms of how much money he's making. He's not a wide receiver 3. He might not even be a wide receiver 4. And then you're relying on a rookie wide receiver in the 4th round in Aaron Smith, who has showed flashes of really good, but hey, he's a rookie. He's unproven. There's going to be growing pains. And then after that, it's a crapshoot. Malachi Corey's probably not even making the roster. Like, this guy hasn't had impacts in practice or in the games. Like, I didn't even see him on Saturday. Like, was he even playing? It seems like the coaching staff has already made a decision that he's not going to make this roster. Tyler Johnson certainly has had his flashes. He's had his flashes last year with the Rams. But, I mean, he's a roster lock, but we're not getting overly excited about him. Xavier Gibson, more so a special teamer. And then you've had undrafted rookies like Pritchard and like Skinner and even Pokey Wilson and Brandon Smith. But, I mean, those guys might not even make the roster. So I thought this was fascinating. I hope this report is true, because when you see Dianna Russini's name attached to it, when it regards the New York Jets, you're very hesitant to believe it. But I think all of her crazy insiders from last season, when it just seems like she never reported anything positive about the old regime, I think they're all gone. The Jets kind of cleared house in regards to that. They don't want any outside noise, and there hasn't been any outside noise, thanks to Aaron Glenn. So I really think this is believable. And Darren Muji, when he did report to the media, said, they're always going to try to acquire talent. It's just the name of the game. So it's going to be interesting before cut day if the Jets actually make a move, whether it's via trade or in free agency. We already dived into it a couple weeks ago of free agency. Guys like Gabe Davis, who, why not take a shot on him? He would certainly already be inserted as the wide receiver 2. He's had proven good years. He's on the wrong side of 20, but he's still in his 20s. So that's a plus. Why not try to get him? Or guys like Jaquan Jennings. He's won a contract. He's 28 years old. He had a career high in receptions and yards. He had over 900 for 75 receptions. He had 6 touchdowns. He would be a nice add. He would immediately be a wide receiver 2. I think in terms of realistic options, he's my number 1, because Terry McLaurin is not going to be a New York Jet. He's just not. You're not going to trade what he's worth, and you're not going to sign him for the money he wants, which is $33 million. $33 million a year, rather. Right after you just signed Garrett Wilson, who is essentially 5 years younger. So that's not going to be an option. Chris Olave, a wild card, but why are they going to trade Chris Olave? He is clearly their best wide receiver. Saints are already not going to be good, and they're going to want as many weapons for rookie Tyler Shuck, who I think is going to win that job. So I don't know why you would just take away his best weapon. And he's also had concussion issues. Like, it's also a risk for the Jets too. Really, like, he's probably 1 concussion away from contemplating retirement. Seriously. It's unfortunate, but it's just the reality of things. So after Jennings, you have guys like Romeo Doubs of the Green Bay Packers, who's really been in that trade mix the last couple of years. He's shown how unhappy he was, especially in the beginning of last season. They drafted Golden in the first round. They have a lot of receivers there, a crowded room. I don't know where he really comes to play in that mix. So I could definitely see Romeo Doubs, a possible trade candidate. Marquez Valdez-Scantling was in there as well. They just signed him, so I'd really find it difficult of them signing him and then immediately trading him. But of course, you wouldn't really have to trade much. Probably a day 3, like 6th round at the best for a guy like MVS. I'm not getting too excited. However, it's just another body. He's played meaningful football with the Packers and the Chiefs. Yes, he's had drop issues, and they probably don't want a guy with drop issues. But, he's certainly a guy you could look at. Jahan Dotson of the Eagles is interesting too. They just went ahead and traded for Mechie of the Texans. So maybe he kind of falls out that wide receiver 3. And, they explore their trade options with Dotson. So, and he just got traded last year from the Commanders to the Eagles. He could be on the move again. In reality, other than Jennings, he's clearly the number one guy who I think is realistic. Just get a body. Like, seriously. Just get somebody who can make an impact week 1. Somebody who's played meaningful football. I mean, seriously, after the first 3 in Wilson, Reynolds, and Lazard, and I guess Tyler Johnson too, all those other guys, like, haven't lined up as a NFL wide receiver. Like, Gibson's had his chances, but he was always primarily a special teamer. And we already talked about Corley, and Arian Smith is a rookie, and all the other guys are undrafted rookies. You got to get somebody who is a pro here that you can insert them and feel good. Like, you don't need a solidified wide receiver 2, but if you could deal with Wilson and how good he is and have like 2 wide receiver 3s, at least give Fields a shot. I mean, at least give him some weapons. Even looking at what else they have, like Breece Hall, probably their second best pass catcher, but people want to trade him for some reason. Who knows? Mason Taylor. We saw him for a brief stint, 1 catch, 4 yards in his first preseason game. He was battling that ankle injury. He has a lot of hope, but again, he hasn't played meaningful football in the NFL. He's a rookie. He's young. He's going to go through those growing pains, as every rookie does, especially tight ends. It's so hard to acclimate it going from college to the NFL because they have multiple assignments. You got blocking assignments and you got passing assignments. Some guys struggle with that. It's just reality. I have high hopes, but we can't already count on this kid to be the second option for Justin Fields. In reality, they have to throw 20 plus times a game to win. Yes, I get they're going to be run first, and I get the Eagles were 29th in passing offense last year and won the Super Bowl. But hey, I don't think they have a 2,100-yard rusher on this roster. They don't. They have 3 really good running backs, but nobody even close to Saquon Barkley. So it's kind of hard to say that they could win with a good offensive line in a running game, and that's it. You still have to pass 20 times a game. You still have to give Justin Fields a shot. There's going to be a lot of running, even with Justin Fields. I mean, at this point, he's gonna take the ball a lot because you need guys who can create separation, and they don't have that. So it's super concerning. I've been concerned about it, and I'm just hoping Muji gets a body. Like, I'm not gonna be picky of the player. Like, any receiver for this team is gonna help. It will immediately make an impact. And we're not trading for an 1,000-yard receiver. Jennings was pretty damn close to it, but just get somebody. Seriously. So it will be interesting to see what the Jets do. They have one more preseason game. Glenn already announced that essentially on Friday night that they're not going to play most of their starters. He wouldn't go into who. Classic Aaron Glenn. But, I would expect Justin Fields not to play in this game. I wish he played a third drive on Saturday night. Following a field goal, maybe you can get some momentum. Like, heck, the stats weren't good. He was 1 for 5 with 4 yards. At least try to get him to throw down the field, maybe complete a 15-yard pass, gain some confidence going into week 1. We don't have that. I'm not going to overreact, but it is concerning. Like, the passing game is going to be concerning. And I think Boomer spoke about it too. Like, this offense is going to be the definition of growing pains and the up and downs all year long. It's just, you knew what you were going to get into with Justin Fields, an unproven quarterback that has struggled with the passing game. He has a great arm. No one's arguing that, but it's just going through his reads quickly. He hangs onto the ball too quick, hangs onto the ball too long. And it's going to be the opposite of Aaron Rodgers last year, who got the ball out really quick. Yes, the offensive line, I think, will be a lot better than they were last year, essentially. But you still have to be able to go through your reads quickly. And he has not been able to do that. The accuracy has been a concern. Help him out. Get better weapons. You can't all blame it on Fields. He has guys who really shouldn't even be in an NFL roster. Seriously, let's talk how it is. I mean, this is a weak group, man. So we're hoping that Dianna Russini, well, I am, and I think a lot of Jets fans are hoping that she's right, that the Jets are in the mix with the Niners and the in the Vikings, rather, in that trade market. Obviously, the Eagles were. They just traded for John Mechie, but we'll have to moderate it. And the Jets have one more training camp practice. They have a walkthrough on Thursday, the game on Friday, and then next Monday, I believe, is the preparation. They'll have the 53-man roster. They'll have all the practice squad guys, and they'll be getting ready for week 1 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then, it's going to become a reality. Well, I appreciate everybody getting through the video. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Like the video if you've actually liked it. You can also follow me on Instagram and on X at @TurnUpJets, all one word. Until next time, we're always making Jets daily content, or really weekly content. But until next time, see you.